Bhakti Siddhiti.
Okay. Any volunteers who would like to read the translation?
I can read it, Prabhuji.
Yes, Madhu.
Translation. There are six principles favorable to execution of pure devotional service. First, being enthusiastic. Second, enduring with confidence. Third, being patient. Fourth, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Fifth, abandoning the association of non devotees. And sixth, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These six principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of the pure devotional service. Hare Krishna. Should I continue?
Yes, Madhu, please continue.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, you're reading the purport, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was asking. Should I continue?
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sorry, I could
please.
not hear.
Please, please.
Purport. Devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Its substance is practical activity. Srila Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.1.11, has defined devotional services as follows: Anya Bhilashatya Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnano Silanam Bhaktir Uttama. Uttama Bhakti or unalloyed devotion unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, involves the rendering of devotional service in a way that is favorable to the Lord. This devotional service should be free from any extraneous motive and devoid of fruitative karma, impersonal jnana, and all other selfish desires. Bhakti is a sort
Okay.
of
So let's wait here. Let's stop here. So how many of devotees know this shloka memorized? Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmadya navritam anukulena krishna anushilana bhakti uttama. How many devotees? Don't use. I know many of your devotees, they know the shloka. Many of you have already recited in the past. I know Suresh Prabhu knows. Am I right? So this is the definition of pure devotional service. So all the devotees can try to see if they can memorize this shloka. It is not very difficult. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. This is the topmost bhakti, highest bhakti. We have discussed this shloka in the past. Anybody would like to explain this shloka? Who wants to volunteer to explain this? Everybody is busy. Nobody is participating in the conference. Seems like everybody is busy with some other things going on.
No, Prabhuji, I'm here, but I don't really know very nicely. I'm still studying this chapter.
Still studying this chapter. Okay. Anybody else?
Same here, Prabhuji. I'm also here, but I don't think so. I can explain.
Okay. Who can try to explain? Anya abhilashita shunyam.
Other desires, negation of all other desires, Prabhuji.
Okay. Good. Good. Gyan karmadi anavritam. What does this mean? Gyan karmadi anavritam. Okay, so I'll try to explain quickly and then devotees can share. Anya abhilashita shunyam, like Mataji said, not having tendency of other desires. Now there is a word called abhilasha and there is a word called abhilashita. There is a little difference. Abhilasha means having no material desire, like anya abhilashita means other desire, no, and not having any other desires. Anya abhilashita means not having a tendency of having other desires. So there is a little difference between the two, which we will come to in a few minutes. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam, which is not contaminated by jnana and karma. Anukulena Krishnanu, it's favorable to Krishna, like Ryan Prabhu nicely mentioned in his presentation, how thoughts of Krishna should be favorable to Krishna, not the thoughts like Kamsa. Kamsa was also thinking of Krishna 24 hours, but his thinking of Krishna was not favorably. So that is not going to be counted as pure devotional service, right? Because it has to be favorably towards Krishna. So anukulena Krishnanu Sheelanam Bhaktiruttama. So if one practices such kind of a devotional service, then that is the highest type. Now the word abhilashita is used because even if sometimes some people may get desires which not necessarily may be connected to Krishna, but if they don't have a tendency of having those desires, still those people can be categorized in the category of practicing pure devotional service. So one example comes is Draupadi. Draupadi was having the desire of personal protection when the gambling match was happening and she was getting disrobed. She was having an emergency situation where she was asking Krishna to protect her body. And that kind of may be taken as, oh, this is a bodily desire. This is a material desire. This is not spiritual. But because it's emergency and the desire is not based upon a tendency of having material desires, it's one isolated desire which has come because of the time, place, and situation. Still, Draupadi is a pure devotee, even if she has that desire. So, like that, even a pure devotee sometimes may have, in emergency situations, some desires which may appear to be not directly spiritual, but that's not their tendency. The tendency is always to have Krishna conscious desires. That's it. And the other way is also true. If somebody is having good desires, but their tendency is not of having Krishna conscious desires, then that is not enough. You have to have a tendency, means in general, your nature is to keep Krishna as center, and you don't have other tendencies other than this. This kind of practice of Krishna consciousness is pure. It is not contaminated by jnana and karma. Karma could include karma kanda. So it can include karma kanda, karma yoga, and bhakti yoga, of course, is the highest. So mainly these, anything other than bhakti yoga is slightly incomplete of pure devotional service. At least slightly. It could be a lot more incomplete depending upon what it is. But till the time one doesn't come to bhakti yoga, the completion or the culmination of the highest platform of spirituality has not happened. So this is very, very important shloka. Very short, easy, and everybody can memorize. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadyanavritam anukulena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. Okay, is that all right?
हाँ जी
Anybody,
प्रभु।
anybody has any question in this regard? Otherwise, we'll continue reading. Okay, great. So, anybody else wants to volunteer to read the next paragraph? Bhakti is a sort of cultivation.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Patri, go ahead.
Bhakti is a sort of cultivation. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Cultivation of spirituality does not mean sitting down idly for meditation, as some pseudo yogis teach. Such idle meditation may be good for those who have no information of devotional service, and for this reason, it is sometimes recommended as a way to check distracting materialistic activities. Meditation means stopping all nonsensical activities, at least for the time being. Devotional service, however, not only puts an end to all nonsensical mundane activities, but also engages one in meaningful devotional activities. Sri Prahlad Maharaj recommends Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. The 9 processes of devotional service are as follows: hearing the name and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chanting His glories, remembering the Lord, serving the Lord's feet, worshipping the deity, offering obeisances unto the Lord, acting as the Lord's servant, making friends with the Lord, surrendering oneself fully to the Lord. Shravanam or hearing is the first step in acquiring transcendental knowledge. One should not give oral reception to unauthorized person, but also approach the proper person as recommended in Bhagavad Gita 4.34. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshayanti te janam jananasya tatudarshinah. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. It is further recommended in the Mukund Upanishad that Vijnanartham Sagurum Eva Bhigachati. To understand that transcendental science, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. Thus, this method of submissively receiving transcendental confidential knowledge is not merely based on mental speculation. In this regard, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, Brahmand Brahmite Kona Bhagwan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. In the course of traversing the universal creation of Brahma, some fortunate souls may receive the seed of Bhakti Lata, the creeper of devotional service. This is all by the grace of Guru and Krishna. Chaitanya Charamrit, Madhya 19.151. The material world is a place of confinement for the living entities who are by nature Anandamaya, pleasure seeking. They actually want to be free from the confinement of this world of conditional happiness. But not knowing the process of liberation, they are bound to transmigrate from one species of life to another and from one planet to another. In this way, the living entities are wandering throughout the material universe. When by good fortune one comes in contact with a pure devotee and hears from him patiently, one begins to follow the path of devotional service. Such an opportunity is offered to a person who is sincere. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is giving such a chance to humanity at large. If by fortune one takes advantage of this opportunity to engage in devotional service, the path of liberation immediately opens.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So we'll stop and just discuss a few points here. So, so Prabhupada starts by saying bhakti is a sort of cultivation, right? And Prabhupada is saying when we use the word cultivation means some activity is happening, right? It's a cultivating, it's a verb. So some activity is happening. You're not idle, just doing nothing. So that cultivation means doing service. And there are nine processes of devotional service, which are highlighted. Navda Bhakti, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smarnam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atmanivedanam. Hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, offering obeisances, acting as a servant, making friends, and surrendering. So, first step is very important, which is hearing. So, this is when the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked, what is the most important? He said, Kirtanam. But actually, Shravanam and Kirtanam are emphasized the most. Why? Because they are the first steps, especially hearing. If we hear properly, then that will be very nice. When Srila Prabhupada, he was going to his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, once upon a time, there was a lecture going on, and then the disciples of His Holiness His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, his disciples, they said, okay, whoever want to continue listening to the class of Guru Maharaj can listen, and the darshans are opening. Whoever wants to take darshan, they can go and take darshan. So if you were in that position, what would you have done? Will you go and take darshan, or you will not take darshan?
I'll take darshan later, Prabhuji.
Who all will take darshan? You will not take darshan? Well, darshan is about to close. How will you take darshan later? Darshan are opening only for a few minutes and then closing. So how many of you are going to go take darshan? You may not get to see the darshan if you don't take it. How many of you will not take darshan? So here neither they will take that. No. We have 11 participants here. How many of you are confused whether you will take darshan or will not take darshan?
Prabhuji, I'm sorry. I'm not replying because I don't know. Can you just say that, what we have to do tomorrow? So that's why I didn't reply. Sorry.
Huh? You didn't hear the
Yeah,
question?
okay, what
No, I heard, Prabhuji, that
about
Maharaj ji ke darshan hai and, to attend the class you were asking, but I could not understand like, which
So
class you are talking.
the question is this. Class of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj is going on, and some disciples came. They said, okay, darshan is open right now but is about to close. Whoever wants to take darshan can take darshan.
how
So
do we take darshan?
if you were there, you will step out of the room and go to the darshan room and take darshan of the Lord, or you will not take the darshan of the Lord? That is my question to you.
I will take darshan.
Okay, that was Rakshita
I
Mataji,
can, yes, Prabhuji. अभी भी प्रभु मुझे confusion ये है कि sorry अगर मैं नहीं समझ पाई. Do we have to go? I mean, it's like Zoom link, or we have to go to Farmington Temple?
Zoom link or Farmington Temple. So this happened when the person who created Zoom was not born. So,
No, Prabhuji, I'm sorry. पता मेरी confusion मुझे ये लग रहा है अभी recently पीछे ना कुछ time पहले सुरेश प्रभु ने ना कुछ link forward किए थे तो classes राधा नाथ महाराज के. So मैं सोच रही हूँ आप शायद मुझे उस link की बात कर रहे हैं तो मैं confused
now
अभी
I'm
भी
asking
हूँ.
a question that a lecture was going on. Physically, everybody is sitting next to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, and then the announcement is made. The darshan is open right now, is about to close. How many? If somebody wants to go and take darshan, they can go and take darshan.
हाँ प्रभु जी, of course दर्शन
are
तो
you going to
करेंगे ही,
send the
बिल्कुल प्रभु
link?
जी.
Okay.
Is it the
So,
Zoom
Prabhuji, I
darshan?
would sit in the class.
Who will sit in the class?
Prabhuji, first I'll sit in the class.
Raksha Mata
Prabhu
will.
ji, we can't choose the both options. We have to choose one only. I mean, if you are going, I can attend the class and do the darshan. Both things I can
Arey,
do.
No,
if
but for taking the darshan, you have to
Prabhuji,
step
send
out
me
from the
the link.
lecture.
I want to take darshan.
No,
Send me
Prabhu
the
ji, then I
link.
will sit in a lecture. I agree with Mata ji that I will sit
I
in a
will
lecture
also
because
sit
मैं
in the
दर्शन अगर कर लूंगी और मेरे को कुछ समझ ही नहीं आएगा और मेरे को कुछ पता ही नहीं वो क्या है, तो दर्शन करने का तो कोई पॉइंट ही नहीं है प्रभु जी.
I think I will. Sorry, I'm replying. So I think I will. It depends on how long the lecture will go. If the lecture is going to go a few more minutes, then I will sit in the lecture and try to finish the lecture. And then, even if I miss the darshan, that's fine.
It's already 9 o'clock, so the lecture is done. So if you send the link, I want to take darshan.
Well, it was the prehistorical era when there was no Zoom, so so you cannot have like a later post lecture session. So it is immediate. So instead of I think I will not leave the lecture incomplete, because that may have vital knowledge. And then and then with the knowledge, Krishna can be an imaginary form. I'm not sure if I'm accurate, but that's what comes to my mind.
Thank you. Anand. See, the beautiful thing is, it is a tough situation to be in. Are you going to take darshan or are you going to listen to the lecture? But reality is, Krishna is very fond of putting us in tough situations, right? Because when he puts us in tough situation, then what we choose, it determines what our future is going to be. Krishna puts us in a situation and sees how we react, and based upon our reaction, Krishna provides us with further opportunities. So Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Prabhupada was sitting in that very lecture, and this announcement was made that, the darshan of, I think it was Adi Keshav temple, if I remember correctly, of the Adi Keshav temple is there. You can take the darshan, otherwise it will close. And this was like a special yatra, I think. So it's a very special occasion. Devotees had come there. And when this announcement was made, most people from the lecture they left. They left and they said, "Oh, we'll go and take darshan." And only the very few close disciples, sannyasis of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj were there. And there was hardly any new person there except one, and that was Abhay Babu. Abhay Charande, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who was not Prabhupada at that time, who was not a Swami at that time, who was just simple, ordinary person appearing. He's a businessman doing his worldly things. But he was there and he did not go. Why he did not go? Because hearing is the first step and the most important step. Hearing. And if we go and take darshan, what darshan will we take? We'll go and we'll see the stone. We'll go and we'll see some things there which the eyes can probably go on to. But without understanding the importance, we will actually not be able to relish, understand, and appreciate. Like many people go to Dham. Oh, Vrindavan jayenge, Mathura jayenge, Haridwar jayenge, Dwarka jayenge. People go there. And people go and do picnic and come back. People go there, they take bath, maybe in Ganga, Yamuna, some river, and they come back. But the problem is they have not got the spiritual benefit which actually they could have got. They may have got a very little benefit, but actually they could have got so much more. But if they do whatever they are doing in the holy place, in terms of taking bath, in terms of going and seeing deities, but most importantly, hear from great saints, sages, rishis, devotees in the holy places, then actually their whole trip will become perfect. But without hearing, they have missed most of the important things. One goes and take darshans of the Lord, Krishna will not reveal you. You go and take as much darshan, Krishna will not reveal. Why? Because the eyes are not trained to see Krishna. We go and we see the Krishna same form. He always stands like this, stays like this. We don't see him moving around. Why? Because our eyes are not anointed with love. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santah sadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achinte guna swarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. What is the process by which Krishna can be seen? This is the process. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena, that the eyes have to be anointed with love. Love for Krishna. And how that love manifests? The first step is hearing. By hearing, chanting, and the 9 processes which are listed, these are the things. But first is hearing. If we don't hear, then whatever else we do, our progress in bhakti will be very, very limited. If not, it will not be there at all. And hearing means hearing should be done by bona fide people, bona fide personalities, those who have themselves heard from bona fide people. They are the ones who can tell us. So Prabhupada, he was thinking, what will I go and see there? I will not be able to appreciate anything. But if I hear from Guru Maharaj, then maybe I will get. Now at that time, he was not even a disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. He was just a person who was there. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj noted this. And then later on, somebody recommended that to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj that this boy should initiate him. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said, yes, this boy, he likes to hear. I will initiate him. He made a note of this. And then Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj also said, because he hears nicely, therefore when time comes, he will speak nicely. So that is very important. If we hear very nicely, very attentively, then we will be able to speak nicely, because Krishna will empower us. And it doesn't matter how much I remember or how much I don't remember, because remembrance and forgetfulness is in the hand of Krishna. The question is how much we are putting attentive, serious, sincere effort. Some people will come to the class and the whole class, they will think that they are hearing, but their mind is elsewhere. Some people will play lecture 24 hours, whole day, but at the end of the day, the mind is totally gone elsewhere and they heard nothing. So this kind of hearing is not very helpful. Hearing means attentive, serious, sincere hearing. Each and every word we should try to understand. We should try to listen. With this YouTube and Zoom and other means by which we can record the lecture, it is very helpful that we can record and play it again and again. But the problem is it also makes us very callous, very insincere. We become less and less serious about what we are listening. Why? Because we think, oh, anyways, it's recorded, I can replay it or I can do it again. That is a very wrong attitude. Unfortunately, this attitude is developing more and more in devotees. I can tell about myself. I feel sometimes that this is very detrimental, because when we are hearing live lecture also live from our uh, gurus, what happens? We tend to think, oh, maybe we have same mentality that, oh, okay, even if I miss few words, it's okay. Very wrong mentality. So therefore, we should start cultivating serious, sincere hearing. When we are listening to lecture, then you should hear attentively. Of course, those people who are new, who are not yet uh, let's say not chanting 16 rounds, or those who are not having a scheduled program for hearing, for them, yes, they can hear, even in whatever way, they may not necessarily need to start with a very, very serious, sincere program. They can start with just few minutes of hearing, along with driving, along with cooking, along with eating, along with walking, whatever they are doing, they can do some hearing along with it. But those who are seriously practicing Krishna consciousness, trying to chant 16 rounds, trying to read daily, who really want to have a solid program for sadhana, for getting, they must hear very attentively. It is much better to hear 1 hour of attentive hearing than 24 hours of inattentive hearing. It's very, very important that we attentively absorb what we are doing. With the new generation of multitasking and doing so many things, the quality of our hearing, quality of our chanting, it kind of goes down. So we should be very mindful of this. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question, regarding this, like hearing lecture. So for us, the situation is like for us, like Ryan and Neil. So what we do actually now, our house, half of the time I take care of Neil, and then my Prabhuji listens to your lecture, and half of the time he takes care of the Neil, and then I listen to your lecture, even though it goes on. So do you think it's okay, because we are trying to work around him, because he is, as you know, very handful child, and we just don't want to put him on screen time all the time when we are listening to your lecture, mostly in the evening. So this is
Yes,
the way we
Mataji.
work
So
around.
this is a good question. I think first of and foremost, the thing is, children need personal attention and personal care. So we have to use our intelligence how to give them that and still not compromise on the hearing. So I think what you're doing is perfect. But my specific point was, um, when we are sitting in the lecture, at that time, how attentive we are. And when we are playing a lecture on the YouTube or on, on the recorded lectures, how much attentively we are hearing is very important, because we do multitasking, we do other things, and then what happens is we don't pay attention to the lecture at all. The lecture is going on, but we are totally in our own world. So that is why my point, that if we are spending so much time in lecture, at least few minutes of attentive hearing we should do. Does it make sense, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, it makes sense. I like we both try to pay attention, but sometimes we have to work around. So that was my own
No,
question.
I
Like,
think what the situation is, by that means, certainly we need to be very, very sensitive to the upbringing of the children. So children cannot be neglected, but in the same way, the bhakti is also like a small child. It's a newborn practically. So newborn child also we can't neglect, right? So we have children who may be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, 10 years old, but then we have bhakti, which is just newborn right now. So we have to take care of all these children.
okay,
Thank,
thank you.
thank you. Very nice question. Okay. Anybody else would like to ask any question in this regard?
I just thought something while I was listening to you, Prabhuji. I thought
Yes.
like maybe a difference between hearing and listening would make more sense in this context. Like you just hear, but how about you listen? So which one would carry more weight?
Yes, Mataji, you're right. Attentive hearing means listening. Correct. Okay. So, anything further you want to add, Mataji?
No, that was my I was just thinking as you were talking about it. So I was like, yeah, how much, I mean, I know even my students, like when I'm lecturing, how much are they listening, or are they just hearing and then
Correct.
brushing it off? So where does it fall? Like which one carries more weight? Yeah. So that
Oh,
was
very.
my
You
thinking
made
when
a
I was.
perfect point. You made a perfect point. Excellent. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is famous shloka from Bhagavad Gita 4.34, where the process is explained that how one must approach uh, bona fide spiritual personality and render service and inquire submissively, which again means hearing from them. So hear from them, and then such attitude will really help us advance. Why? Because when we are approaching the right kind of person, hearing from them submissively, rendering service to them, then that is the perfect process given to us by Krishna. Okay, so because of lack of time, I'll not go any forward, but this is a very, very important section from the Mundaka Upanishad, Tad Vijnanartham Saguru Mevavi Gachet. So this we'll discuss tomorrow, and then the famous shloka Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Virtavij. Both these shlokas are quoted by Prabhupada here, so we'll discuss these tomorrow, and then we'll continue and try to complete this discussion. Is that all right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much,
Yes.
devotees, for excuse me, for joining. Very grateful to each one of you, and we'll connect tomorrow. And tomorrow morning, please try to join for our Japa conference call. Everybody is welcome to join. Okay, we'll join in the morning, depending on whatever time you're convenient for you. We'll end it here. Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa sindhubhya patadana pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.